So Denver has made a move. They are acquiring Teddy Bridgewater from Carolina. By the way, you got to be careful. A week ago, Carolina was talking about, hey, we're going to be in the quarterback market. Today, the stories are they just traded Teddy Bridgewater away, and they're going to move down in the draft with New England. Sam Darnold's their guy in Carolina. Teams say a lot. It's the same with Denver. Denver, we like Drew Lock. They just went and got Teddy Bridgewater to start. And by the way, one of the things, Joy Taylor joining me, one of the things I talk about all the time, and I get pushback every time, and I'm always right. Every time I've been right. Maturity matters. It will eventually, you'll have to pay the piper if you're immature. So Jameis Winston is wildly immature in college, but wildly productive in the NFL. And when he went to the market, crickets. He took $1 million deal. Immaturity. Not talent, not size, not arm. He was wildly productive. Judgment. Baker Mayfield, not fifth-year option. That's it. If I'd have told you that you draft Baker Mayfield, he wins a playoff game, you'd be like, oh, they'll sign him to a contract extension. They won't. Only because of maturity. That's the only reason. Johnny Manziel, maturity, out of the league. Cam had no market post-Carolina. Moody, not always there. Sometimes. Prime example, Drew Lock. He comes across as too casual, too flip, too cool. There's a lack of kind of like urgency and maturity. They're already moving off him. His numbers are the exact same as Josh Allen's through 16 or 18 starts. Exact same. But the difference is Josh Allen is all football. That is all he's into. Drew Lock, feel like he's got a lot of Baker Mayfield. He's kind of there. This idea, you always argue with me, the fans always argue with maturity. You're going to pay for it in your draft stock or later. The only reason you wouldn't give Baker a contract extension is maturity. Why not? If I'd have told you 4 years ago Baker comes in, you beat the Steelers in a playoff game, you would have said, oh, he's a huge success. You give him a contract extension. No, Mahomes showed maturity. Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson has shown maturity. Lamar Jackson, we don't even like the way he throws. John Harbaugh said yesterday, he's absolutely going to get an extension. We're not even arguing about it. Half you guys don't even think he can play. But he's mature. He shows up. He's committed. You know he's all in. He's not doing commercials everywhere. This maturity thing is huge. Now, this year, I don't think we have a maturity guy out there, a question maturity guy. But every third, fourth year, there's a guy I'm like, I'm out. Jameis Winston, I'm like, talented, but immature. Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield. Drew Lock, to me, nothing against the kid, but he just plays with sort of a coolness. Sometimes I think he wants to be cooler than great. He's just kind of casual, lets it go, takes risks. Can't do that in the NFL. Every possession has to be huge. Dak Prescott has total limitations as a thrower. Dan Mullen came on a week ago on the show. Dan Mullen got the Florida job because of Dak Prescott. And he's like, yeah, he was not really impressed with his arm. It was all the other stuff. Teams, Teddy Bridgewater will always have work. Tyrod Taylor will always have work. Drew Lock, this could be it. So again, don't argue with me on the maturity thing. You will pay the... Jameis Winston had no market. None. Dude's like 6'4.5", big arm, can move around, threw for 5,000 yards. No market. It's not because he can't play. People question his judgment, his maturity. That's why, by the way, Jameis has done a really good job in the last year. Whenever he talks about his commitment. You ever notice that? What does he talk about? Commitment. You notice Cam goes to New England, talks about the buy-in to Belichick. These guys know. They know their reputations hurt them. So they go all in on commit. Cam's been like the perfect citizen. Jameis is like losing weight. I'm into this. He gets emotional. So these guys know. Now, pro sports is very unfair. We ask 22-year-old quarterbacks to be as mature as a 45-year-old man. It's totally unfair. But that's the game. I mean, Drew Lock is no less mature than I was at his age. But I couldn't have been a franchise quarterback. I wasn't mature enough at 24 to be. Russell Wilson was. Andrew Luck was. Justin Herbert is. Trevor Lawrence appears to be. So stop arguing the immaturity thing doesn't matter. You will pay a price for it. If you're seen as somebody who's just too casual, too flip, too cool, you'll pay a price. So Denver's moving off Drew Lock. I mean, they brought in Teddy to play. Okay, they brought in Teddy to play. So let's do a new top 10, top 12 mock draft because this changes things. Now, Denver is saying, according to Schefter, we are still in the quarterback market. Oh, come on, give me a break. You're going to have three Vic Fangio needs to win now. Denver's a good football market. You got to start getting players and winning games. So my guess is this is the new mock draft with the Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, Trevor Lawrence won. Let's not waste any time. You don't even have to roll video. Trevor Lawrence is going number 1 to the Jags. Duh. Zach Wilson is going number 2 to the Jets. Let's not waste any time. No video, too. I think San Francisco is going to draft Mac Jones. I think the scouts want Trey Lance. I think Lynch wants Trey Lance. I think everybody wants Trey Lance. And they're pushing on Shanahan, but he's the star of the franchise. So my guess is they go Mac Jones. Number 4, I think, again, this is a guess. I don't think Atlanta needs a quarterback. They have a new offensive coach. He's great with tight ends, and Kyle Pitts is a once-in-a-decade player. I think Atlanta goes Kyle Pitts, number 4. Number 5 is Cincinnati. Again, Joe Burrow played with Jamar Chase. Zach Taylor's an offensive-minded coach. I think you can make real arguments. You go on the offensive line. But this is a draft that's deep in offensive line, and you're drafting at the top of rounds, so you can get that in the second and third round. You can't get Jamar Chase in the second and third round, so I think they go Jamar Chase, number 5. Big body, ready to play. You know, people, the scouts I trust are like, listen, he's an NFL guy playing in college. He'll walk in and give you 75 catches. He's ready to play. Right? LSU's got these dudes. Swear to God, nobody has more of these guys than LSU. They just got dudes they're NFL players at 18 years old. Then Miami is 6. Now, I would go to the offensive line because I think they've addressed their wide receiver stuff. But what you're hearing now is Jalen Waddle from Miami is going to go to Miami, so they're going to have, they've got Will Fuller and Devontae Parker and a good tight end. 7 is Detroit. Who the hell knows what Detroit's going to do? I would never have hired Dan Campbell. Jared Goff cannot throw under duress. They have got to get a better offensive line fast, and you have a chance to get the best left tackle prospect in multiple years, Penei Sewell. I would take him if I'm Detroit. Again, you could argue for a receiver, but if Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts are off the board, Jared Goff, remember, before the Rams got Andrew Whitworth, Goff was seen as a disaster. Like, they got a left tackle, they got him an offensive coach, things got better. So I would go with Penei Sewell. Number 8, the story is out. New England, Carolina are working on a trade. I think New England moves into the number 8 spot. Carolina needs a left tackle. You can get it later. Needs a corner. You can get it later. Carolina needs more players. They move down. New England's got some players, moves up and gets a quarterback, Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is perfect for Belichick's system. He's, there's a lot of Cam there. Big, strong run, big arm. I think he's a little bit more disciplined player, but that's who I think they'd get. Number 9. Now, Denver's going to tell you they're still in the quarterback market. That's smart business. So somebody may say, let's move up and get him. So if Washington thinks Denver's still in the quarterback business, Washington may give them a couple of first-round picks. So Denver saying they're in the quarterback business is smart business. If Denver still has the pick, and I'm not so sure Chicago or Washington don't move up, I think they'll take J.C. Horn, the corner. Now, they already addressed corner in free agency, but this defense was a mess last year. As they say, you can never have too many great corners in the NFL. I think Denver would go J.C. Horn. Again, their offensive skill people are fine. Their offensive line's okay. Bridgewater gets the quarterback situation solvent, so I think J.C. Horn. The Cowboys, I think, would have taken J.C. Horn, but they'll take Patrick Surtain from Alabama. Well coached, probably already close to his ceiling. But Dallas has a corner they drafted last year, and this gives them another corner. They got 10 picks. I think, Saban's very respected in NFL circles. So you go back-to-back corners, Denver, Dallas, 9-10. 11, now it gets interesting. It's the New York Giants. They've addressed their offensive line. Rashawn Slater is out there, but they've addressed their offensive line in the last 2 years. And they already went and got Kenny Golladay. And they went and got Kyle Rudolph. So they don't need a receiver or a tight end. There's not a tight end you would take. I don't know exactly what the Giants do. Devontae Smith is going to probably be the highest graded player available. And so you go Kenny Golladay, Devontae Smith, Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph, Saquon Barkley. And your takeaway is, if you're Dave Gettleman doesn't move down in the draft. That's not what he does. So Gettleman's going to say, bottom line is, I will know by Thanksgiving if this kid can play. Whereas an offensive lineman, Rashawn Slater, did not play last year. And there may be a feeling like, well, if I bring Rashawn Slater in, he didn't play college last year, he could be good. But I want to know right now if Daniel Jones can play. Dave Gettleman needs to win, by the way, or Dave Gettleman's going to be out of job. So I think he may just say, I'm going to go receiver again. We are stacked offensively. Devontae will help me now. Because I do think some people worry about Slater having opted out. He's kind of a guard tackle. So then at 12, Philadelphia, who I think would have taken Devontae Smith, I don't think they want to move up in the draft because they got too many holes. I think they probably take the best graded player available, and that is Rashawn Slater, the offensive lineman. Their offensive line is good, but getting really old, and I think Philadelphia probably goes with him. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.